This week on the Beard Laws Podcast.
I'll say this. Not everybody loves beards. All the moms I've met, okay? Let me just say, they love it.
Reader's Digest actually ranked beards as the comfiest place to sit in America.
It's called the Jiz Map, but a buddy of mine at work, I'm on my phone and he's talking to another guy and he was like, hey, I was checking out that Jiz Map. And we all started laughing and like, I didn't know what he was talking about. And I go, is that like the poop map? And they looked at me like, what? And now I had to explain what the poop map was and why I thought maybe this was the Jiz Map, which was similar, and people are checking in when things are happening.
And the one that I focused on, and I don't know if it's just because it's, what I'm interested in, but was definitely a grandma. She looked like her, mid-60s, which it looked like she had maybe a Pringles can in her mouth. This thing was girthy.
Let me check back because I need to for scientific purposes.
I want to say it was like lower left, like
yeah, Grandma.
So she had a mouthful.
In the realm of beard loss, a trio strong and true. You've been Brandon and beard loss with tales both old and new. Their whiskers like a forest, their knowledge like a stream, guiding us through beardom and culinary dream. Beard loss, the sage of facial grace, with whiskers flowing, setting the pace. You've been the jester in clouds of green, laughs and wisdom and sight unseen. Brandon J. McDermott, Food Daddy Supreme, a feast of facts, a culinary dream.
We did it. We're back, and for whatever reason, you decided to come back, or you just stumbled upon us. Apparently, we've been talking to some people, and they were like, hey, maybe you should change the name of the show because most people don't love beards. So in the future, if this show has a different name, you're welcome or sorry. I don't really know yet, but these people that I'm chatting with, big old brain. Shout out to B2B Marketing, and hopefully more to come with them. But
I definitely think it's exciting stuff. But I will say this. Not everybody loves beards. All the moms I've met, okay? Let me just say, they love them.
And there's a lot of people that slide into DMs, apparently. Not only mine, but friend of the show, Logan, at the Dad Bods of Beard podcast. He gets quite a bit of them sliding into there. And apparently there's some of us, and maybe even Brandon gets some interesting messages. So
some of us are icons, let me just say.
Very happy icons.
Reader's Digest actually ranked beards as the comfiest place to sit in America.
Really?
True fact.
Interesting. Did you know that there's an app? Apparently, I was listening to this again, some kind of podcast, or heard it on the news. There's a whole app just for people who love beards. Like, I'm assuming it's a dating app or whatever. I've never heard of it. Obviously, I've been out of the game now for a while. I think it's called Bristler. So if anybody is listening and looking for love, yeah, it's Bristler. It's an alternative for dating for everyone. And apparently it is for women who love beards, allowing matched users to chat.
So I got two things to say, if I could, real quick.
Yeah.
Wife, I had posted a couple of those compilation videos on Facebook. And she saw an old video of mine where I had that long, luxurious, beautiful curled mustache.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, it wasn't until that moment that I missed it. And I was like, I know. Oh, I know. She was like, why did you cut it off? I go, one time my barber did it and I just couldn't stop him. And I was just like, I was like dying in the chair as it was happening. It was sad. Next thing, you talked about maps. And I was at work the other day. You guys would have got a kick out of this. Have you guys heard of GIS maps? It's a geographical information system. It's basically just like there's one here in the county, and there's other places around the country that do it, where you can like Google and search in to find exactly the house, how much it's worth, how much the people that who owns it, and how much they pay for taxes every year. It's like, it's all public information, so it's not anything crazy. Well, anyway, blah, 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 blah. It's called the Jiz Map. But a buddy of mine at work, I'm on my phone, and he's talking to another guy, and he was like, hey, I was checking out that Jiz Map. And we all started laughing, and like, I didn't know what he was talking about. And I go, is that like the poop map? And they looked at me like, what? And now I had to explain what the poop map was and why I thought maybe this was the Jiz Map, which was similar, and people are checking in when things are happening. So yeah, that was a nice thing. Hopefully HR doesn't reach out to me.
Right. I wonder. Okay. Is that the $1 million idea of the show? We come up with the Jiz Map?
I was going to say, I'm interested. Sign me up.
Oh yeah. So every time you do it probably after, just like the poop map, or do you do it while you're in the act of it?
Well,
And
if you sign up for premium, you get to check in on people, and you can see the final 10 or 20 seconds.
well, the poop map has a camera built in that you can take selfies or you can take pictures of the bathroom. I personally have never taken a selfie while I was taking a dump to put on the poop map, but it is an option.
So premium, you get the length of the process and a final picture of the result.
Oh. It could be potentially used for medical purposes as well. Maybe you got something weird going on with yours and somebody picks it up. I mean, how many times have you seen online on the internet where they're like, "Ooh, what's going on with that?
Yeah.
You need to consult the doctor." And
Is
then
that
it's like,
what
"I am a
blood in there?
doctor."
Why is it so bloody? What's up with that? Is that normal?
For anybody listening, no, it is not normal. Now I kind of want to check to see if the domain is taken. So I'm gonna we're gonna check that out, because if not, we're gonna buy it while recording. It's gotta be taken. You guys think it's taken?
What's the exact name again?
Jizmap.com.
I mean,
It is taken.
damn.
Is it?
I'm assuming that we would spell it Jizz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. There goes that idea. Do I want to go and see the website? Kind of, but
How
not
about-
really.
How about Map Jiz?
TheJizMap.com is available.
Oh,
I mean, you could just add a the.
Okay, it's basically what you would expect it to be.
Oh,
And
Well
if you can
done.
see any reflections in my glasses.
oh no! Unfortunately, not. Put on sunglasses. I want to see it. Actually,
Yeah.
I'll just look it up myself. I won't be lazy. I won't be
Don't
lazy.
click on anything because I don't know what kind of site it is.
Incognito.
if you just straight Google it too, it's weird. It comes up to a WordPress site that is Prof Kinchin blog. I don't know why that is the first thing that pops up with SEO, and it's a PDF, and I would definitely recommend not clicking that.
Holy moly! I hope nobody comes into the shop whenever I am filming. Nobody ever did, but this would be the time that somebody would walk in and be like, "This is what you do in here." I'm like, "Yes, this is exactly what I do in here."
These
Oh,
are your friends.
Can you explain what it looks like to anybody that isn't going to stop listening to this podcast and check it out? Maybe listen, if for whatever reason the algorithm sends it your way, jizmap.com, and you want to be a friend of the show, we will promote you.
so
We already are.
my I quickly clicked off of it, but from what I saw, there was a grid of maybe 50 different pictures, and the one that I focused on, and I don't know if it's just because it's what I'm interested in, but was definitely a grandma. She looked like her mid 60s, which it looked like she had maybe a Pringles can in her mouth. This
Wow.
thing was girthy.
Let me check back because I need to for scientific purposes.
I want to say it was like lower left, like
yeah,
yeah,
Come
yeah,
on.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Get it, Grandma.
So she had a mouthful.
Wasn't exactly what I was expecting jizmap.com to look like in our brain. So I think the idea that we have is definitely much different than their intentions.
I could be a good sponsor. There's no better name than You've Been Whacking Off to support such a great cause. So,
Why don't we just put an interactive map on you'vebeenwhackingoff.com? We already own that. And then people can say, here's where I've been whacking off because you've been whacking off. Or, you know what I mean? Where is you been whacking off?
so the thing
Where
is, though,
you
is
whacking off?
it would just show you how many times I do, and you guys would be like, "Good God, no wonder he never responds to messages." Like, holy fuck, this he is busy.
Interesting. And then there's only like 2 locations on the map where you jack off. It's home and work,
Yeah,
or
it's-
or a spot between home and work.
It's in the
Grandma's
corner of
house.
this room, just right over here. It's
Why
a
is that
staining
jersey
seat.
standing up and that towel standing up on its own, Dad?
It's a magic trick. Don't touch it.
You'll learn in 10 years, kid.
Oh God, I hope I don't find anything like that. Good God, I'm just gonna act like I never saw anything like that and just run away and then just take a whole bunch of antidepressants.
Yeah, I mean, clean your room, or you got to go in for laundry duty, and then you pick up that weird sock or shirt or towel, and you're just like, what do you say at that
Why
point?
does it smell like this? The Atlantic Ocean in here. It's salty and fuck. What's going on?
Do you know how far from the ocean we are? Did you steal one of them? There's your candle. That's a new candle scent.
That is a
You could play with the sock or the tissue or something, but have it very oceany.
right? Just room temperature tuna. Is that
I mean, if you guys go to you'vebeenwhackinoff.com, there is some candles that he does have for sale.
There is. And I'm trying to think too. I just had a name and I lost it. It had to do with salt. Damn it, what the fuck was it? I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know, but either way. But yeah, we were talking offline about something, and Brandon was like, "Why don't we wait and talk about this online?"
Yes. So if anybody's been scrolling the internet the last several days, week or so, you probably have seen it. And the way I love Instagram, you see one video and it doesn't take like an entire exit from the app for the algorithm to update, so to speak. Because like now I'm all of a sudden like I'm like scrolling and seeing different ones. But the tornadoes rolled through Nebraska, and people listening in or watching in from around the world or around the country may think, nah, it's tornadoes. There's tornadoes everywhere. There are. And Tornado Alley technically is like Oklahoma, southern Kansas, and northern Texas. But Nebraska still gets pretty heavily hit, and western Missouri gets hit, Iowa gets hit. But there was a line of about 6 tornadoes that rolled through, and one of them, because they've got this new like vortex mapping, I don't know the exact meteorological details of it, but one of them was the fastest moving speeds of a tornado, the top 20 in history that have been recorded.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, and it tore through basically from Lincoln to Harlan, Iowa, Lincoln to Harlan, which is about a 3-hour drive, give or take, I don't want to say necessarily a straight line, but there were, tornadoes don't just land and then go. They land, they dip, or they'll land a little bit, come back up, dip, gather strength, weaken, et cetera, et cetera. It's a storm. That's how it works.
When I dip,
but
you
there
dip,
were several of them that were like doing that. And
Jesus.
I don't know if a couple of them combined or not, but there was this big one that was about a half a mile wide, which is unfucking believable.
Jesus.
And anyway, Elkhorn, Nebraska got hit pretty hard. Bennington, Nebraska got hit pretty hard. There was a tiny town called Minden, Iowa, which got leveled. It was a very tiny town.
Lincoln, Nebraska is Interstate 80.
Yes, that was Interstate 80 is between Omaha and Lincoln. And
look at this. This might be really loud. This is on an X account, Twitter account. I'm going to mute it just because when I pressed it, it was ignorant loud, and I don't want to blow anybody's eardrums out. So this is Interstate 80, I guess.
I mean, and that's what's crazy about tornadoes is that what you don't realize is the base of it. You see how it looks like it's like falling apart or dissipating. No, that's just the wind is so fucking heavy. You have seen little dust storms in the middle of a courtyard or something where it kind of swirls up. That is heavy and strong enough to lift anything in its path and throw it hundreds of feet.
And yet there's people, whoever's not, watching this, there was a tornado in Lincoln, Nebraska that is just going across the street. And there was at least 3 or 4 vehicles just trying to get as close as possible to record this tornado.
It was different vehicles too. It looked like a Charger. Somebody was driving a truck. It looked like Dominic Toretto and his gang just chasing the tornado. That was his Fast and Furious 13. But I think the tornado in Omaha, there's a specific type that I think was like a multiple vortex. And what do they call it? Like dead man walking whenever you see 2 tornadoes, because it looks like 2. Yeah, it's one of the most violent ones because it's a multiple vortex. And I believe that's what Omaha had, or one of the places in Nebraska. So
I do want to show if I can.
Yeah, go ahead. It's crazy. I'm going to throw this theory out there because people love, theories and conspiracies. They're making a new tornado movie. Coincidence? I think not.
Oh, snap. Titty Twisters,
too. This was the one that was a half mile wide. That's a tornado. Like that whole thing is. So that's why you're like, they can vary in scale. Everybody's seen the movie Twister, of course. They can vary in scale from, hold on one second.
That is
from what you showed, which is an F1 or F2, to what that was, which is an F4.
What's the highest? 5?
F5, I believe. Yeah. It's the Fujita scale. I don't know all the details of it, but
I had a
know enough to be
Fujito printer
dangerous.
once.
But like you get something like that, and it doesn't matter where you're at. I mean, everything is coming up, basement and otherwise, and you're going into the sky, and then maybe even staying up with the storm and then being landed somewhere else, miles and miles away. There's been instances of that happening where people are finding like pictures and things miles and miles and miles away, bodies even. So luckily, 2 people were injured, but nobody died, and they were released from the hospital. So everything was fine.
That's
But
good
it
news.
was wild, dude. I mean, there's been other ones here. There was the Hallam tornado, the Pilger, Iowa tornado. There was a couple other ones over the last 10, 15 years that killed people. And
Apparently
Joplin was huge.
1913 was a rough year for tornadoes in Nebraska. I just pulled up top 10 killer tornadoes in Nebraska history. That's exactly what I Googled, and it came up. Thanks, weather.gov. And it said the Omaha tornado of March. They were all March 23rd. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
You guys had a bunch of the Omaha tornado, March 23rd. 101 people passed away from it, and it was pretty wild. Then there was the Utan, which I read, the Eubin tornado. Same day, 20 were dead. The Berlin tornado, all same day. That were just wow. That is nasty.
Imagine what it would have been like 100 years ago, or even 150 years ago, before we had electricity, where you're outside in a sod house or whatever, maybe even a wood home, who knows? But you go outside and you see this, like, you have walked with your family or rode on a carriage or a what do they call those little fucking wheelhouse things that settlers went across on?
Covered
wagon. Yeah, that's the one.
I got you.
A covered
Like
wagon.
some Oregon
hundreds
trail.
and hundreds, if not 1,000 miles, 1,500 miles to find your future, and all of a sudden you get to a place where because the way the United States is set, people from all around the world come to, and I don't mean to be blabbing on like this, but they come from all over the world to study storms, because after the Rocky Mountains, you get all of this flat area. Generally speaking, it's not all flat, but you get this flat area. So these storms on the Great Plains pick up after the Rocky Mountains, and they just fucking hit like nuts. It's crazy.
I've never thought about it that way. And I wonder back then too. Obviously, they didn't have the technology that we have, or any kind of really technology, especially in 1913. I wonder if there's other signs. You know what I mean? Like the old Farmer's Almanac and the old Farmer Tales, where if this starts to happen, we know a tornado is going to hit. Like I feel like a lot of farmers and old school people knew little tricks with weather and stuff like that. Like when the leaves are turning, you know what I mean? It's going to rain.
To that point, but I'll ask you this: you're from Missouri, if I can say that.
Yeah.
Do you ever remember when? I generally remember some of the worst, scariest tornadoes are at night, because you can't see them. You can't see the fucking tornadoes at night. It's scary. But during the day, you would see like the weather would be like eerie, but the color would change. It would be almost like a greenish hue.
Yep.
You knew storms were in the air and something was going to happen, and it was like a green color. It was a weird color. It wasn't like, you're looking at dark forest green, but you see like a greenish hue to everything, and you're like, yeah, something's whipping up tonight. And another thing is hot days can and when it cools down at night, that hot air and that cool wind that comes through from wherever the high pressure, low pressure hits, that's what happens, is that you get all that cold air and all that warm air hitting, and
damn.
Basically, that's the dumbed down version.
That's Matt. That's why, whenever I texted you, I was like, shit, it's getting warm. I was like, it's getting really warm here. That's how and back in the day, my grandma could feel it in her ankles. Supposedly, that's how she would be able to tell. She's like, oh, it's gonna storm tonight. Arthritis is acting up in the knees or whatever it was. So, and but I don't know, like. We've had several that my houses my friends' houses they've been taken over the years. It's just, I don't know. I never realized that I am in Tornado Alley, but you always think about it. You're like, that's Oklahoma. That's Texas. That's Arkansas. That's where all that shit is. It's never up here. But I don't know. This year it's been, I think, 4 weekends in a row now or something that we've had significant storms or something. It's like, shit, this is going to be a bumpy season.
Yeah.
I mean, Twisters is coming out July 19th, 2024. The weirdest promo that they didn't even know us, all this tornado talk. So maybe we'll try to get the director, Lee Isaac Chung, or the person that wrote the story, Joseph Kaczynski on the next podcast. So make sure you come back. $200 million budget. I heard $195 million of it was just to create tornadoes all over the U.S. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I heard
Is it
wrong.
cloud seeding? Is that what it is? Is it tornado seeding? Is that what we're doing?
What's funny about you say that is like you go to any of these videos on Instagram now, and I want to believe that they're trolling, but you see people in there like, oh, great CGI. Oh, that's fake. That's fake. It's like, you have no idea, dude. You're fucking in Houston or New York City or, you know, somewhere that doesn't see tornadoes. Like, shit is wild. It'll uplift. I mean, and it's like this everywhere. People in California was like, oh, that's why I don't live in Nebraska. Yeah. Well, we don't have earthquakes and mudslides or wildfires quite like that. But natural disasters happen everywhere, flooding and everything else. I mean, so no matter where you are, you get a chance of terrible shit happening. Matt, you can talk about snow.
See, I was going to say, yeah, we just have cold, and people are, oh, never live there. It's too cold. Yeah, well. Yeah.
See, I think that was even verbatim what I told you, too. I was like, hey, you know, that's our trade-off for not having as much snow. And you're like, hey, you know, you're like, it's still, what, 40, 50 degrees there? And I'm like, ah, shit.
It was 26 the other morning. Yep.
Fuck.
Yep. Almost May. Still friggin' cold.
I think it's going to be 70. So, you know, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad. I mean it is spring here, and we talked. I think it was on the show where the seasons seem to be extending, and it's just kind of a weird thing. I'm sure there's a reason for it. I don't know what the reason is. I did want to. It's a weird thing. For a little bit, I wanted to be a meteorologist when I was young, because where I grew up, there was a big person in the news, Wayne Mahar. You guys probably have never heard of him. It was a local thing, like out of the Syracuse area. He was like a celebrity. It was when there was no internet still. You were watching TV. He was on there. And I got to be invited to his house for his daughter's birthday party one year because we were in the same class, which was funny because there was 4 elementary schools and I was in the poor one, which didn't make sense because they were there. And I got to go there one time for a birthday party, and then I was not invited back. I didn't think I was being bad, but I was just like overwhelmed because they had like a trash compact. You know what I mean? They had the refrigerator and freezer where you could just go up and get water and ice. We didn't have anything cool like that. And I was like, man, this is like the Jetsons' house. And they thought I was fucking weird. But I was like, hey, we were a little bit poor. But yeah, meteorologist. What a cool thing.
Do you want to make reference to the fact that you called it an elementary?
Yeah.
You know, I was wondering too. I was like, damn, I'm not that fancy.
I mean, I've also threw in Oregon. I'm just trying to trigger some people and see if you guys are paying attention. Just trying to.
So, my wife, she does have a word that triggers me, man. So color, you know, like if you're coloring something, but she'll say collar, and I'm like, that goes around your neck. The fuck are you saying right now? And she's like, no, I'm gonna collar it. And I was like, say that again. The fuck are you saying right now? I was like, did you bump your head? What are you doing right now? So, but she gives me shit because how do you guys say caramel or is it caramel?
So I've had this conversation. For me, it's caramel is the candy, but if it's an apple, it's a caramel apple.
Same.
Not a caramel apple. But it's a weird thing where it's what's accepted in the nomenclature, what's accepted in the vernacular. You know, like what are people saying? Like me with when I do videos and I say, "Ooh, they're adding milk." Well, it's not milk, but I say milk. That's the way that I've always said it. It's not milk. Yep. I'd like a glass of milk.
People up here, they say, a lot of the old school people, they say warsher. We got to start the warsher. Can you get that out of the warsher? It's like,
going down to Washington.
Where in the hell did you get the R? And Walmart. Yeah. I've heard Walmart, people saying, oh, got to go to Walmart.
Now, milk. That's a wild one. I'm not gonna lie. That's wild to me. But I do agree with the caramel and the caramel. It depends on what it is, and so that's what I tried to explain. She's like, "That's dumb. Stick to one." And I'm like, "No, it's just put your pinky up whenever you speak. Okay, it's caramel. Caramel."
What's up, wifey?
Yes, brother.
That fucking kid caramel. Since you started saying "What's up, brother," and we did that episode for Body Wrong, "What's up, brother?" That little prick has been on every algorithm everywhere. I tried watching his interview with Theo Vaughn, and it was decent, but I couldn't get through it. And he's been partying hard. And I thought I read that he actually like blew a hamstring at Texans camp, but I don't know if he actually, like, there was footage. I think he was just running and then all of a sudden it was like there was a sniper in the woods, and he just whoa, and then fell down.
I know he got carted off in an ambulance. Was one of the. I don't know if that was just a skit or whatever. I see so many of these clips, and he's penetrating my feeds as well. And it's just every single. Yeah. He got to present, what was it, like the 4th round pick for the Houston Texans, because his identity is, he's a Madden player, and he wears a CJ Stroud jersey every time. Every time you see him wearing a Texans jersey nonstop. And so he got to present for them and everything, and just went up there with his little spiel. And I'm like, let's go. Let's go.
He threw out the first pitch in a Detroit game. I saw him
against the Royals, and the Royals smacked that ass. So that's what he gets.
That's
8-0, baby. Let's go.
The Pirates suck again, but nobody cares about
suck again.
We suck again. I did watch speaking of Theo Vaughn, he had, I forget the guy's name, but he is a lifelong Carnival person. I don't know if we talked about it on the show, but he interviewed him, and I mean, like, his family, Carnival, like his grandpa's grandpa's, like, they have been in the carnival business for a long time. Like, the dude that had 3 legs and 2 dicks, like, that's related to this guy.
Wait, what? Like, there's a guy with what?
He has 3 legs and 2 dicks.
Okay, I think I remember this a little bit. I think this
I'm going to show you a picture.
Are you saying
if that's going to be the part they remember? But yeah, this guy right here, Frank Lentini, the 3-legged sideshow performer, like, has 3 legs and 2 penises.
Were they working?
As far as the guy on the interview said, that they were definitely working.
So, okay, so the joke is constantly to call it the 3rd leg, but he actually has a 3rd leg. So what is he calling it?
He's calling it the 5th wheel.
Oh, the tripod? Look at this. How awkward that would be to have to buy. I'm going to need 2 sets of shoes.
Could you imagine going next to that in the urinal and just being like, what the fuck are you doing?
Like, hey, Mom, I got picked first in soccer at the draft this week.
Like, do you have to sit down to piss? Like, yeah.
Okay, so you know how putting a diaper on a toddler, or a baby, whatever, is already, like, very, very exhausting. Could you imagine having 3 legs and 2 dicks? Like, that's got to be difficult.
It would, like you said, you pull up to the urinal. Do you have to use 2 urinals? Do you have to, like, put them together? I have some, probably questions that he's been asked that we cannot ask, because I'm pretty sure that was a long time ago and he's passed away. But I mean, like, if one pees, does the other one as well? Like, can you just go, like, almost like a cow, like when you're milking the udder? Can just one go and then the other go? Do they both?
The visual of milking that man was not in my head, and it is now. It definitely is now.
Actually, if you go to jizmaps.com, he's on there, I heard.
Could you imagine being his wife? And he's like, hey, you in the mood? She's like, good God, you know how exhausting it is to give you a hand job? Like, I have to do both hands, and none of them get a break? Like, it's fucking exhausting.
I heard she had biceps.
She had the strongest jawline in the 19th century.
Yeah, it was Ronda Rousey's grandma's grandma. That's why the generations of them are so jacked.
The Crimson Chin.
Speaking of Ronda Rousey, there's respectfully, a person who's not my type, so to speak, but her personality just.
She was on the Steve-O's podcast again, I think, wasn't she? I don't know if you guys watched Steve-O's Wild Ride or not.
No.
Probably not. No. She recently was on an interview with them. She's been on there, I think, a couple of times, but she was kind of talking about some behind-the-scenes stuff of wrestling and how, it's crooked and this and, just kind of a little bit of some behind-the-scenes stuff. And apparently she had some, like, real bad health issues as, like, a kid. Like, probably shouldn't even be alive. And there was some pretty interesting stuff that came out, in that interview about her. Pretty cool. Yeah, interesting.
You take a really good knee to the face. That was really enjoyable.
I couldn't imagine. Man, I had something.
My ass in a heartbeat.
Yeah, she'd probably whoop all our asses in a heartbeat. Oh, that Carnival guy, real quick, before I know we talked about the dicks and I don't want to go back to it, but this guy told, like, a lot of inside trade stuff about the Carnival games and, just the life and the parties. Like, it was I know Carnival, Carnies or whatever, you know what I mean? And they have their own little lingo and language and all this stuff. But like they get, I mean, when you picture Carnies, are you picturing a good set of people in a good scenery? They typically have a pretty negative, pretty brutal image, I would say.
Gypsies.
But there was, the lifelong, ones. Then there's the food guys, the ride guys, the entertainment. Like there's all these other ones. They didn't always mingle. Like he talked about how he would sleep in boxes on extension cords, almost like a cat. You know what I mean? With the big generator boxes, just for a place to sleep and then get back up and have to do it. Said he'd always sleep like in the games a lot of times because they were comfy. Just a wild scene. And he said there would be like groups of like groupies, like cars of women when the carnival would close, they would show up just to party with these carnival people and like have sex with them and stuff. And I'm like, he said it. There was some wild shit that I would have never thought about, and a lot of the inside scoop on games that you've probably spent a lot of money on.
See, like that would be the selling point. That's what would finally get me. They're like, hey, do you like to travel? I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. That sounds really good. You're gonna sleep in some pretty terrible conditions. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, who cares? I can sleep on the floor. I can sleep wherever. Do you like pussy? Because they come in by the busload.
We don't we don't have any 10s, but we can promise you 5 2s.
Yeah, you know what? Quantity over quality, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, Theo did kind of hint around like, were they hot? And it was pretty quick. No. Not a lot of good-looking ones, and he got talking about certain tattoos that they had, and it's interesting. If you guys have some time on your hand, go listen to it was the Theo Von podcast. And,
were they located above the crack?
Oh, had to be.
Okay.
Yep. One of them I think had relevant. It's at jizmap.com, and it was probably like on her forehead. I don't know. I keep cycling back to that
garage tattoo on where the Millers.
Jesus Christ. Have you guys seen any just like awkward tattoos on people you might know, not without throwing them out there, or people in the wild that you just kind of are like, what were you thinking?
You talking about tattoos?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a funny one. I'm gonna try to find a picture of it so I can show you.
He's like, I've been waiting for you.
I've been waiting for this moment forever. I know a guy who I haven't seen it, but a lot of people that I know seen it. And like I said, I'm not going to throw any names. I hope it doesn't give it away. But apparently had an anchor tattooed on the tip of his dick. So every time he would get laid or could get laid or whatever, he would say he's dropping anchor.
So I never thought I would be able to share this with you boys or anybody in the world. But there's this girl who I've never met in my life, don't know her personally, but she lives in my hometown. And she has had many run-ins with the law, drug-related, violence-related, because, Okay. Mm-hmm. She had a tattoo that literally, you said, "We are the Millers." It reminded me of that. Across her chest that said, "Finally famous." Okay? Mm-hmm. I want you to see or guess for yourself what the problem was here on this "Finally famous." It's the first photo.
Finally is not spelled right?
No, it's missing an L.
No, there's no L, yeah.
Or she got it fixed on the second one, as you can see.
Oh, my God.
I wouldn't even think that says finally, even if it was missing an L. It's so weird.
Yep.
It is. It's just a weird-looking L.
Well, she got famous, all right. And, in fact, since then, I don't want to do this because it'll dox her. Okay. Let's just say she got a face tattoo also.
Okay.
Which kind of makes you forget about the finally famous part.
I got you.
See, that's,
I'll share with you offline.
Fair.
I have a personal preference, which, means dick to anybody. So, you're free to do whatever you want. You want to get a face tattoo? Get a face tattoo. I'm not a fan. Not a big fan of the face tattoos. What I am a big fan of, though, because you can call them like, just use an old stiff. The throat tattoo. Oh, chicks with just the neck, whatever. Oh my, I am a slut for that. The chest tattoos as well. Oh, you can spell it wrong. I don't give a fuck. Looks good. I like it.
Looks good. Daddy likes.
I do. If I see somebody, they're like, they could just talk about anything. They could talk about plaster. I don't give a shit. And they're like, throat tattooed. I'm like, maybe I'll listen to what is this a 5-minute video? You got me for 5 minutes. I'm gonna look at that. And then the hand tattoos. I don't know what it is. I like me a bad alt chick. Nasty.
I just went to boredpanda.com and just some of the worst tattoos according to them. Again, 112. We're not going to get through them all, but this number one, a guy tried to copy my tattoo artist's work, but took the nipple and tattooed it on the arm. And this one, nice tattoo, Dave. It says, "Roses are red. My name's Dave. This poem makes no sense. Microwave."
Translation. Oh, just make it rhyme, dude. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Then I've seen this one before, which is wild.
I love that one. That one is commitment, and I love it.
This is a tattoo of a face on the back of somebody's head, and they have left the hair for the eyebrows and a mustache. Imagine seeing that on a plane. Like, imagine if you had your kid on the plane with you, and they're like, well, that's going to leave some nightmares.
Good. Scared straight. Plane edition.
Here we go. Today I learned that my friend's Chinese tattoo literally means turkey sandwich.
I wouldn't be upset.
I mean, yeah. That one, an Air Jordan tattoo with a big, what is it, a mole or skin graft on the back of something?
They tattoo lines of the whatever that is. You can see the basketball lines. That's sick.
Can you, I mean, so there's copy tattoo of a nipple with a sombrero and 2 eyes and a mouth.
I can do that. I got some pepperoni nips, man. That would be a big sombrero. That'd have to go up to the shoulder blade.
So you can't take like the Air Jordan logo, like that was a tattoo. You can't just take that, put it on a t-shirt, put it on a hat. That's copyright. You're going to get in trouble. But you can tattoo it on your body and it's not? Is that like a thing?
I don't know. That is... So you were talking about a t-shirt, and I don't know why this I saw this stupid guy on TikTok. I guess he might not be stupid, I don't know. But it's this Costco guy with this chicken, and it has like a specific plastic tub apparently that the chicken gets into. But he refuses to have the cashier scan the chicken because he doesn't want any laser, no UAV on his or UV is what he was saying on his chicken. And so he wears a t-shirt with a barcode of the actual, like the UPC of the chicken. So they just scan his shirt. So he's just in line with 5 chickens. And he's like, don't scan the chicken. Don't scan the shirt. They said it was okay. So the guy's just like, bro, I make minimum wage. Like, I don't give a fuck. Scan. You know, it's just, oh, shit was wild.
This might be right up your alley, Euban. I just sent you guys something in the link. This is the girl.
Oh, my.
And you can see where she's gotten a face tattoo. She's got it all the way across her forehead.
Let's see here. Right across.
See if I can find anything.
Immediately, yes.
Oh,
yep.
There's a lot going on in that. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Looks like she was just arrested last year.
Oh, God.
Yikes.
Okay, so here's when she was arrested. All right, let's do it. 2023, June of 23, May of 2020, April of 2020, March of 2020, March again of 2020, March again of 2020, February of 2020. Disorderly conduct, criminal mischief under $500 twice, request to leave twice, liquor open container in public. Okay, that's not as bad. Obstructing traffic, thrift by shoplifting, criminal trespassing second degree. So I guess no drugs, but there's a second page. Okay, sorry. 2019 trespassing, criminal trespassing second degree, criminal impersonation and impersonate false ID to a law enforcement officer, drug paraphernalia.
There it is.
Jesus Christ.
I love her. But the only thing is, though, honestly, the big drawback, maybe she should, honestly, it was probably a good idea that she did get the tattoo on the forehead because she has a massive dome. Like, holy fuck. She looks like Roger from American Dad or whatever. That alien. She's got a big ass forehead.
Now, the thing is,
shit.
I mean, we are here having a good time, and maybe we should do the right thing and submit the mugshot to Mugshotties.
Absolutely.
I feel like that would be good for said brand of person. I feel like that is...
Oh, she'd finally be famous.
Exactly.
That's, what you were talking about, creating sending that in. I was creating a profile on that dating app for the beards. And I'm catfishing the fuck out of people, Matt, with your picture. So
fair. That's fine. That's fine. Just a luck. Let me know if you need some some updated ones. I'm here to help you. I'm always going to help my boys.
Absolutely. I need a shirtless pic. And let's see. Can you have one with slight spreading of the cheeks?
Yeah, I can Google that
audiences.
and send it over to you for sure.
Trying to build a brand.
I'll just take a close-up image of Sasquatch. And it'll be just the chest hair with that.
I haven't thought about Sasquatch in honestly like 3 weeks.
Oh, my bad.
And now I fucking hate you for it. God damn it.
That's what
so
I'm
much
here
for
for.
sleep tonight.
That's okay. It's overrated. I mean, yeah, my bad. Is it though?
All I can see is this girl's picture in her forehead. I'm not going to close that tab. That's a big ass forehead. She's taking up half my screen. Nope.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think it's the perfect time.
Shit.
Oh,
Here. I don't know if you want to submit this.
Oh shit.
Sorry.
Hold on.
okay.
Oh wait, there was an inmate? I didn't even see.
Oh, wow.
That's her.
That's her?
Admission date. No, just this month, 18 days ago.
Wow. Doesn't look like the
Is this
same person.
chick?
Yeah, it is, dude. It is.
Oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm out. You know what? That's a
Here's
lot of
when
work
you're
that
on
you have to do in the
Facebook and
morning.
you can make yourself all saucy. That's her, dude. Trust me.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, you could tell definitely the tattoos are the same.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's no denying that hairline.
It's not going to do well on Mugshotties, that one.
Look at the size of that fucking forehead. That's an 8 head. I mean, no wonder she did that. She could have put that free advertisement just right there on her fucking forehead. They're like, hey, space available. You know what I mean? And she's like, good, I'm going to put some more tattoos. She still has enough to put a whole Jiz Map right there in the center of her forehead.
Yep. And
Good
you know what?
God.
I mean, there's probably companies out there that'll pay said person to put tattoos on that forehead. Maybe that's a good business plan once out of jail.
God, she's been thinking about everything, she's been holding a lot in that mind. I think that's a big ass head.
Yikes.
Oh.
All right. On that note, I feel like there's no other way than just to say goodbye. I mean, I think this was fun. This is a good episode. We talked about a lot of cool stuff. We'll do it again next week. So make sure you check out you'vebeenwhackinoff.com, BrandonJMcDermott.com, all the social medias. And yeah, that was good. I don't have anything else, you guys.
I'm going to kill this rooster. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. I'm about to fucking kill it.
Here comes the rooster. We'll play that song on the outro.
Oh, he's fucking done. He's screaming again.
God damn. All right. Well, be good to your wieners. Keep your sticks on the ice. We'll be back next week. Appreciate you guys. Okay. We good? Okay. Okay, bye.